CA results came out a couple of days ago, and I can just imagine students either going through euphoria or going through just fighting whatever is probably drawing you down. So I think in this video, we're going to talk to both sides. Obviously, for the ones who've cleared, congrats. I know there's no better feeling than to complete your CA, whether it is at inter level or final level. And I'm also going to address the ones who really need more guidance as to what to do. What is the next step? We're going to talk about the journey from CA to ACCA, no matter where you are in your career. All right, let's assume that you have cleared. If you've cleared CA Inter, right, IPCC, that means you now have 2 years of articleship upcoming where you'll need the last almost 1 year to study for CA. So you more or less have 1 year right now where you can pick up ACCA, gain exemptions and IP, which means you just have to look at 7 exams in ACCA. Giving 7 exams might seem a lot, but here are the advantages along with your articleship. Number 1, of course, first of all, don't underestimate the difficulty because you cleared CA. I'm sure it's a great feeling, but ACCA is demanding. It has its own perks, but you also have to put in the effort. So with your articleship, it might be difficult to juggle. So hopefully your articleship firm is supportive enough for you to study more things. Now, why is it a great thing to take it up? Because number 1, a lot of the syllabus of what you just studied is overlapping with ACCA skill level, which is the level you'll start off with. Second, ACCA exams happen every quarter, every March, June, September, December. And unlike your CA group exams where you have to combine the groups and the aggregate pass mark, ACCA has none of it, which means I can actually, take up one paper at a time and clear if I want, or if along with my articleship, I'm comfortable giving more exams, I can pick it up. So in 1 year, the least number of papers you should look at during your articleship 1 year is at least 4 papers. And if you want, you can complete all 7 papers. But remember guys, IPCC syllabus will overlap with ACCA's skill level, and what you might study for professional level in ACCA might overlap with your final CA curriculum. So no matter what you study, you're going to be able to use more or less of it in your CA as well as ACCA. So less effort, higher reward when it respect to number of qualifications. Let's say you're a CA final cleared. You've done it. You've completed your articleship. You've completed your toughest exam that you'll probably ever come across. What now? The advantage of doing ACCA is number 1, it gives you an international qualification on top of your Indian statutory chartered accounting qualification. Second, you have to only give 4 exams of ACCA because you get 9 exemptions. Out of the 4, 3 of them again quite literally overlap with what you study in CA, so syllabus is not that difficult. You've already completed your articleship, so that overlaps with ACCA's articleship equivalent, which is called PER. Finally, the speed, you can complete the 4 papers of ACCA in 6 months if you want and be done with a dual qualification, Indian and international, in your pocket. No brainer, the cost becomes half versus if you started from zero. Completely, we've seen this rise of CA students taking it up. So hopefully, if you've cleared your CA, maybe this one's for you. And now for the ones who did not clear. Let's say you are at your inter CA level and you've not cleared. First of all, guys, if you've given more than 2 attempts of IPCC and you've not cleared, I generally urge students to reconsider giving it for the 3rd attempt because you've already invested over a couple of years total now of CA. I know most people don't want to give up after 2 attempts, and some people really go on and on because the marks that you feel you just didn't, clear by are just a couple of marks, and 1 more attempt, 6 months more I'll study. So first, please feel convinced on dropping IPCC and picking up ACCA in this example. Healthy recommendation is you can do that after 2 attempts because ACCA will give you, if not everything CA gives you, almost everything CA gives you. But I would rather move ahead than reappear. However, if you want to give a couple of more attempts, give. If you are not clearing IPCC, I would say there's no point in combining it with ACCA. You'll have to drop one or the other. Now, let's say that you are at your final CA level. Now at final CA, when people don't clear, I have a similar approach, but I don't tell them to leave CA because you've really invested 4, 5, 6 years maybe. But let's say it's your 2nd attempt of final CA and you didn't clear. Here I would recommend that take a pause from CA. I know it sounds very tempting, one more attempt, but it's going to be a minimum of 6 months from the time your results came. You'll have to juggle it with whatever work you're doing. People are unfortunately looking at what attempt you cleared your CA in. Luckily, none of that is there in these alternate qualifications. If you take a pause, right, because you completed final CA, you might have passed in some papers with 40 plus, you might not have. But basically, 13 exams in ACCA, IPCC plus BCom gives you 6 exemptions, and depending on your CA, you might have 7, 8 or 9 exemptions, even if you've not completed your complete CA. If that's the, plus your articleship is over, which means that is counted towards ACCA. So I think that if you are not clearing CA, and especially if you've given more than 2 attempts, instead of waiting for another attempt and there's a 50% chance that you might be disappointed, take a pause, complete a qualification, move ahead, work where you are able to be hired as a fully qualified ACCA because your salary becomes equivalent to a CA, and then you always have the chance to complete CA. Most people don't want to because it's about the investment you've made. It's called the endowment effect, right? You have invested so much time that you're so close, you don't want to leave it for that. But practically, I've seen that the more attempts you give, you will clear at some point, but it's going to take maybe half a year, maybe 1 more year, maybe 1.5 years more. In that much time, in 6 months, you can actually complete ACCA's balance papers, become qualified, start working, and then probably catch up. However, when it comes to the second half of this video, where I'm talking about what to do if you've not cleared, I know students generally have a difficult time, so it is a personal choice. I'm just trying to balance out what is practical and how much to really sort of go all out, give it one last shot, and hope that you clear CA. All the best to all of those guys who were probably planning on either picking up ACCA or continuing with CA. Both journeys are challenging but rewarding. I hope you'll end up getting what you're aiming for. And if you need any more guidance, feel free to reach out to us.